up, right? Okay. I assume we're recording now.
Yep.
So hello everyone. This is just a review of or a walkthrough for using Cerci. To I'll just jump right into it. To access Cerci, you'll first need to email this email right here to where they need to verify your intentions, and they'll send a response to Dr. Hagen to give you access. What they're doing is not giving you credentials to access Cerci. They're uh, allowing your NetID to access the cluster. So when you go to access it, you'll just use your NetID login information. There's several different ways of connecting to Cerci. We find X2Go is the easiest, especially for Windows and sometimes on Mac. You can access Cerci using your command prompt on Mac, but you have to SSH and you need to know the commands. So X2Go is definitely easiest. There's a download link right here in the PDF that's shared to the group. So setting up Cerci or X2Go. Once you've got it downloaded, you're going to click up here and create a new session. I've already created one, so I'll just open it right here. Go to session preferences.
Okay. So this is so you just you so you let's say you send an email and your ID is connected to the Cerci, and then the first thing that you're going to do is download X2Go.
Yes,
And
because
then
you need a way of accessing Cerci.
okay.
So X2Go is your application. It's kind of a virtual machine to SSH into the server, into
Mm-hmm.
the cluster.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we're doing here. We're setting up a host uh, path link. This is your NetID login information, and you're going to SSH into port 22.
Okay, so those values you have to plug in by yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have step by step for each tab. They're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
The default settings for connection, input, output, and media are fine. You shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have any problems going through those.
Mm-hmm.
Shared folders is where it gets interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The IT wiki page says that you don't really need a shared folder. You could skip it, but I highly recommend it because we're processing data. We have scripts that we need to transfer. So to set up your shared folder that communicates between your computer, X2Go, and then Cerci, this is where you do it. So shared folders, uh, click to add, find a folder, select the folder, add it, and then you'll click auto mount to access that directory in your computer. Okay. And then we'll
So
connect.
that's what when your local that's the folder that you have designated folder that will be connected to the Cerci word.
It's not connected to Cerci.
Mm-hmm.
It's uh it's a folder that X2Go can read and write files to,
Okay.
and then from X2Go you can
Yes.
drag it into the Cerci network.
Got you. Okay.
And so we'll just log in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually like a portal between Cerci and your regular desktop.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get yep, there it goes. Now that we have it open, close. So this is just what you'll see right away. Up top, you have your applications. you can access the internet with Firefox here. It can be useful if you really need it, but what we're really focused on is this and your command terminal right up top. So we'll be using this later. A big note, and I can't stress this enough, is to always check your permissions, because if you're getting errors, if you're getting like if you can't drag a file from one location to another, it's because you didn't check your permissions. So check the folder permissions, check the file permissions, and to do that, you just right click, properties, operations. Now this is a file that I don't really have access to, so I shouldn't have really selected it, but that is the way to do it. So I'll go
Which
to,
one is do you have access?
yeah. So this is Cerci, the file system. I'll go
Yeah.
to work BGFS. This is to navigate. This is your first letter of your net ID. So mine is M. Then
Mm,
I have my own folder here. Let me find my name right there.
mm,
And here I can play around with this folder. So I'll
mm,
add, create a folder, say test,
mm.
right click properties, permissions, and say I want to let everyone who has access to SI Twitter, which is this Twitter
Mm,
group,
mhm,
go there,
mm,
create read, create
mm,
write,
mm.
and then apply.
Excellent. So there are two folders that you can work on. So this is your own personal folder. How about the shared BGFS?
So shared, we kind of just ignored it really.
Can you open that?
Yeah, it was giving us a lot of problems with like anytime you upload a file into it,
Uh-huh.
it's blank. Like so I don't know. I never
Hmm.
figured out what the problem
Okay,
was.
can you go to SI Twitter? I want to see.
So what we were really using SI Twitter for
Mm-hmm.
was to store
Data.
the resulting CSV files.
Mm,
We don't store the data there
mm,
because Cerci doesn't like to extract and do jobs from it. So that's
mm-hmm.
why we use the work BGSF file,
I
because
see.
right here it's intended to do
Mm-hmm.
jobs with.
Excellent. Okay, good.
So yeah, right here we just go to our work BGFS,
Mm-hmm.
create a file, edit the permissions, and
Mm-hmm.
then so what we're doing is preparing the job that we want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? We have to create a path in the work BGFS. We need to upload the data to that folder. We
Mm-hmm.
need to upload the R script, add and install the packages that the R script uses
Mm-hmm.
for whichever job, and then you're going to create a batch.sh file. It's a script that Cerci will use that executes your R script against the data.
Mm-hmm.
It's the command essentially. So here's the R setup. We can run a little test now. Let me just recap. I'm blanking right now. So let's go to file system, uh, work VGFS. No, desktop R. So this is in my home directory. This is not on Cerci. This is on X2Go. So I go to home M Matthias Casas R, and then here 3.5. This is R version 3.5, and here's all my packages. Okay, you'll notice down below to do the job that the hashtag analysis, you need these different. These are the packages that the R script by Robert uses.
Mm-hmm.
So to
Yeah,
install those,
yeah. I just wanted to add that like you can't install the packages regular. You have to do it in the way that Matthias is about to show because like the terminal and stuff, it doesn't like you can't install packages in the S batch or anything. Like when you send it off, you can't have that in your script, so you have to do it beforehand.
Mm.
Yes. If Cerci doesn't have the package, it will immediately fail the job. So what we're gonna do is srun. Let me copy and paste this.
Yeah, and this is just allocating resources, which
Mm.
you need to do this before you do any kind of like processing through
Mm.
the full X2Go system.
Mm-hmm.
For example, installing packages through R, or if you just wanted to run a local job on X2Go,
Mm-hmm.
before you open up R, you always need to request resources. Super important.
Mm.
Is that space bin?
Yeah, space. Yep.
I'll let the terminal run. Okay, so now it's changed directories. And we're gonna run this command. Module 3.2 R. And what we're doing is telling what applications we want to install, and so or what application we're using.
Mm.
And so right here, install packages. We're gonna do install dot packages parentheses quotation. Which one was it? Read R.
Yeah, that'll be.
Let's enter. And we'll select 77 for USA. And you're gonna do this for all of the packages. Each one. Install dot stringy or install packages dot stringy, reader string R. The special ones about stringy and string R is that they don't actually both appear in. I think I had a screenshot of it. I guess I don't. They don't actually appear in here, right? You'll notice only string R is there. It's because string E is embedded in it.
Mm.
So it won't appear, but you have to download it separately.
Mm.
And so this is just gonna run. And now we can, as that runs, we can move on to the batch script creation. This is actually telling Cerci what the job is.
Mm.
To do this, it's very specific. So this is just an example screenshot of all the information you need. Your batch job title, how long it's going to take, or at least how much time you're going to allocate for Cerci to do the job. This is your output path. So wherever you're going to output is where you want your CSV to spit into. Your error file. This is really important because you're definitely going to come across errors and you need to be able to read them and know what went wrong. Your email address, right? Just to know for Cerci to notify you when things are ready and that your job's going. And your memory request is definitely the most important because here you're telling Cerci how much memory your job is going to require, and so you need to enter a greater amount so that your job doesn't crash because it doesn't have the space. So this srun r script path to the r script.r and path to the CSV file. So that's your data set. And then you'll notice in my workbeat GFS file, Obviously, there's a bunch of other work here, but this is the data set. This is the R script, and then this is the batch script. X2Go doesn't like to read .sh, so this is where the share file can come in handy. You can create a text file in Windows, type out the script, and then save it as a sh file, and then just upload it through your share folder into this directory or wherever you have your job going. And then, but one thing I've noticed is to use nano. So we're going to cd work bdfs. And right now what I'm doing is accessing my I'm accessing this folder through the command terminal. So now we're in that path. ls to list out the stored files. And you'll see here's the sh file. The command nano allows you to read and write and edit whatever file that's in there. So we're going to nano june.sh, and here it is. So I have 95 gigabytes for a memory request. My email's right there. This is the error output. This is the version of R we're using. Here's the R script, and here's the data.
Mm.
Just exit out of that. So now we're ready. We have our batch script. We have our data.
Mm.
Here's another screenshot on the PDF just to help walk you through the details on how to create it.
Yeah, you can create an sh script through R, and that screenshot walks you through how to do that. Or you can just use the example sh file and fill out your information, and it'll work either way. Just you have to use an sh file to send in jobs, though.
Mm-hmm. One thing we didn't cover is how to upload the data. Right? It's pretty simple, and it takes really hours to complete. So what I did was I just downloaded from the box the zip file, and then unzipped it on my computer. Transferred the unzipped file to X2Go, and then moved it into my work BGFS file. It's pretty simple, but you have to remember when you upload it to X2Go to edit the permissions, because it won't let you transfer it to your work BGFS. Even though it's a file that you just added, you have to edit the permissions. So now we're all set. We have everything going, and here I'll start from the beginning to start the job. Create a new thing. Command terminal. CD work S M. Another quick note: when you're creating files in Works, it helps to use underscores, because in the command terminal, if you just did Twitter space CSVs, the command terminal is gonna freak out and it's not gonna know what to do. So it's best to use underscores. There we go. And to run the job, we're gonna do s batch june.sh. So the job's been submitted. I will receive an email shortly that job 4247 has been created, and that'll be it. To cancel it, just cancel 764 768 7. That's done.
I just wanted to add one thing. It's important before you start your job, you always want to make sure that you CD into the work BGS F file that you're planning on running. So for example, he ran June, so he went into his Twitter CSV file where the June data and June SH file and the June hashtag script was all located. Like it's important to make sure all the files are in the same folder.
Mhm. And your batch
All
script
the
will
file
reference
means
this.
sh and CSV file, and then error file and outcome file. All those are in the same folder. Is that?
Yes, and that's what we're outlining in the batch script right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we want Cerci to spit
Mm-hmm.
out the error file, the output file, and this is where to reference the R script and CSV.
Yeah, but you have to have everything. Like when you're doing a job, all the contents for that job have to be in one place because how they do it, like they look in your work BGSF
Mm.
and like so that in the SH file you specify where everything's at, and if something's not there, then it can't find it and it won't complete the job.
Mm-hmm. So I had one question. So when you move the CSV file to the folder that you from the local folder to Cerci, is it just drag and drop?
Um, I
Once
think
the file's connected, like you'll have a file on your regular computer desktop, and
Mm.
any file you put into that file that's
Mm-hmm.
connected, you just open up X2Go and it'll be in that file. You just have to go to media disk, and then so that connected file right there,
Mm-hmm.
anything you put in here, either
Mm.
X2Go or on your desktop, you can see it on both ends.
hmm
Oh, you can see this from Cerci as
Yes.
well?
so.
So
Mm.
right now, if he dragged that June.h, like he can see that on his regular desktop as well. Like if it's in that file, you have access to it through both. It's like a portal to your regular desktop.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not necessarily on Cerci. This is on my X2Go. So home and Matias Casas, all this whole path. This is on X2Go. This is
Uh-huh.
my shared folder.
Mm.
And if I want to upload it to from my shared folder to X2Go, I'll just copy it. File system, work
Mm.
BGFS,
I
and
see.
then I type
Paste it.
paste.
Okay,
It
okay.
won't let me paste if my permissions are not set.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And again, just to recap why we're using work instead of shares, because work is where Cerci conducts the jobs. It's the faster folder. It's
Mm.
not meant for long-term storage, whereas shares is shared at BGFS. This one. One thing we didn't go over is error files. Mine, when we first started doing this, it
Mm.
didn't. My error files didn't actually show up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that they are now. So how did I solve that issue? I went up here, another command terminal. Let's type it in again. Oh, great. Oh, I spelled. Here's all the errors. I'll just read one. Nano, June, now, analysis. Um, which one is 7? 9, 4, 5, 7, 7.
I think you gotta
Oh,
press do the dot error as well.
you're right. So here's just one error code. I think, had this job gone through? I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah, that was from a while ago.
Yeah, so this one had worked.
Yeah, so this is a way to get. I've noticed like the X2 Go thing has like trouble updating things. So like if you run a job, you'll need to exit out all of your windows and then go back into it to be able to see the file updated. Like it doesn't update in real time.
Mm.
So this is a good way to, if it didn't update yet, if you do this, you can still see your error file. Like, because sometimes X2 Go does take a while to update it,
And you're talking about this, the home file navigator. This doesn't update.
gotcha.
No?
Well, no, I was just saying like in general, like the windows just don't update in real time. So like if you run a new file and a new file comes into that folder, you have to completely close out of that folder and reopen it, like a fresh window, because the old like the each window doesn't refresh in real time.
Yes. And so um, the same for then that is for this. For the command terminal, if there's a new file that's not appearing, then you list them out again. Then it'll refresh.
Okay.
Now, yeah, that's the end of it, really.
Wow, this is excellent. Very good.
The only thing we didn't really have in here is like if you want to run a local job,
Mm.
you would just need to open up the mate terminal and then do the srun command, which is like your local or requesting resources, and then you can module load apps R, and then you can just use R just like regular. But the only difference between like when you're doing local, you just always have to make sure you have permissions and you get like use the mate terminal because our studio and stuff isn't updated. So, but with the terminal, you can use whatever version.
Yeah, the batch script job execution is intended really for larger jobs that have big data sets that are going to take a long time. So you can start the job, close out of X2Go, let it run, and you just forget about it, and then Cerci will email you when it's done, and you can open up X2Go back up and look at the output.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. Lilith, do you have any question?
I don't think your mic registered.
I said I don't really have any questions.
Okay, I think this is good. So let's put this recorded version and this PDF document to the thing. So Matthias, if you can send me the PDF file, I will update it to our website.
Okay, I can do that. I will cancel streaming now.
Yeah, this was excellent. Very good.
Just telling Matthias